Right then, this is Chris Wharton, Mohammed Ali and Maria Khan. This is Unit 6 Sport Development, Task 2, P2, M2 and D1. Right, off we go then, Chris. Just give me the first barrier to participation.
I'm doing disability.
Good.
So in the elite stage, most of the sports are for people without disabilities, which is a barrier. So with people over 50s that are disabled and stuff like that, and teenagers, it's hard for them to get involved. There's not enough opportunities for them. So they don't have transport and money, and find it hard to get to stuff. So yeah, could affect the self-confidence. Because if they think they can't do it, then it's not going to help them. Foundation stage primary school athletes could affect them because, like, obviously they're just getting started and just getting into terms with their injuries and stuff like that. So the Paralympics is a good way to test off the athletes' performances, to show off how good they are, stuff like that. So that's disability.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure we're loud enough for the camera just so it can hear you.
I'm going to do about
Cost. Cost, yeah?
Yeah, and some people might not able to afford to go to the clubs they want. If they wanted to go to a cricket club, and if they got a bit higher up into the performance stage, then they would be expected to have some of their own equipment, and the equipment like the knee pads and helmet, but that would cost up to about £200, and some people might not be able to afford that, so they might have to stop there. This could be good by like the government doing more fundings, have like youth clubs or stuff like that, and put funding in to keep the kids off the street, and this would also help like crime rates going down, and bring the community together.
Right, good. Maria?
I'm a do religion.
Right, good.
Particularly for young Asian girls that
Yeah.
are involved in football. The thing is that some of them are in a football group already, and they only base it for young girls that are younger than 14, and once they get to the age of 14 they have to move up and integrate with lads that are older than them. Some particular in Islam, younger girls are not allowed to mix in with lads older than them, so it'd be hard for them to get back into the footballing sport. But to change this, they could make a football group that would be based for girls at that age when they have to move up from their football group, particularly for Asian lasses and for other religions as well, that their parents don't allow them to mix in with boys of the older age.
Right, good. Next one.
I'm doing ability, sorry.
Ability, yeah.
So in the elite
Ability.
stage,
Okay.
teenage athletes playing with professional teams, so like in youth team or something like that.
Yeah.
So like if the club don't think that they're good enough to continue playing at the level, they'll make them move on. So like they'd either go into coaching or performance level of the game. So like Craig Linfield, he got sold by Liverpool, who play at the elite stage. Then moved to Accrington Stanley, who play now performance stage in League 2. So obese primary children, they wouldn't be the best at the level because they don't have the other stamina. Well, they don't have the stamina that other children might have. They might not know as much about the game, so it'd be hard for them to compete with like those from the performance stage and the elite stage athletes. So
Right.
Government could give them like help with like clubs and that, just to help them through it.
Okay. Ali?
I'm going to do about facilities. So some primary schools don't have the facilities for all the children. Some people might have special abilities, some people might be in wheelchairs and they might need special equipment, and the government funding and the space they have, they might not have enough space and equipment for all the children, like the disabled children there. So the so they could go to like leisure centres and all that with the government funding to help them to go into other places to give equal opportunity to everyone in the class.
Okay. Marriott?
I'm going to do age, which is based on foundation stage.
Right.
Like, a lot of kids are starting throughout primary school, getting to know sports, and then they start to enjoy them. But once they leave primary school, there's not a lot of groups out there to support them with what they like doing. For the age-wise, some of them, once they turn to a certain age, they don't have a lot of groups mixed for them. They have just certain groups for them. So there'll be like 8 to 10-year-olds that'll be playing football, and then there won't be another group to go up in. So they'll have to leave, and sometimes it ruins opportunities for children to have to get into the sports that they like, which causes a lot of obesity in the community at this moment in time. To change that, they could expand the age ranges for the sports, so they could make the groups bigger, and it'll encourage a lot of people to get into the sports. For age as well, it'd be not only for children, it'd be for older, like adults and adolescents that would want to get back into the sports, but it's a lot harder because people expect older elders to know about sports already, which isn't necessarily, because a lot of people didn't get into sports when they were younger, like because of costs and facilities and stuff. And if they have groups for that, it will encourage people to get into sports like at any age, and it'll help them to get from the performance stage up to like wanting to become an athlete in the sports as well.
Right, good. So I'll just link it back to criteria. So can we think of any other barriers? Just give me one each. Chris, can you think of any other barriers?
Transport.
Good, yeah. Ali?
Some people might not have the time.
Time, good. Is there anything else you can think of, Maria?
Family.
Family, alright.
Family might be a cause of why people don't get into sports.
Right, so you might be prevented, okay, or they might not be as interested, possibly.
As interested in which are interested in sports. Because some girls don't, they want to get into sports, but there's not a lot of groups that will be just for the certain gender, so they won't feel as comfortable, because boys do tend to say that girls are not as good as sport leaders and coaches as them.
Right, okay. So I'm just concentrating on the past part here. Right, target groups, and let's think about target groups. Can you think of any target groups, Chris?
So like
try and get
teenagers. And
teenagers.
over 50s.
Right, so
Yeah.
if you talk about those two, then teenagers and over 50s.
So over 50s.
Or if you talk about teenage, we'll pick one.
Right, so teenagers,
Yeah.
for like with disabilities, it'd be hard because like they won't be able to do other stuff, like all the stuff that like we're doing, for example. It's like they'd need different clubs that and more equipment, which would mean more cost and stuff like that.
So which level of sport development continuum might that link to?
So primary school kind of people to,
So what's-
to secondary
So what level? that?
participation.
Right.
So because like they need equipment and time and transport to get to places, which might be hard with like say disabled people.
Right, okay, Ali? Target group?
Youth club.
Youth club, right?
Youth club might target like local kids from about 13 to 18 year olds in the local area. They might do this because they have nothing to do, and they might just cause crime. And by these youth clubs, they could set up like football tournaments and keep the kids off the street, and the parents would know where they are a youth club, they will know it's safe, and because they're all there, there won't be much crime going on because they're all doing something good and keeping active. This will also help to keep them fit and not be obese. This will also
Which level of sport development continuum can you think of it that might link to, or how it could maybe progress, or?
they could start with the foundation
Yeah.
participant stage, and then if the coaches see any potential in them, then maybe they could go to performance stage and go up the continuum triangle.
Good. Maria?
Elderly, like over 50s.
Yeah.
It'd be based on foundation stage and upwards, depending on which of the elderly have been involved in sports in the past. This would be because getting the elderly back into sports would help them being active and not being just sat at home claiming benefits, because there is a few that are out there that want to be active but don't know how to become active. It'd also help them, if they are active, to go out there and work and do what they want to do, see the grandkids and stuff. It'd be just so that they're socialising a lot more as well with the community. They'll have a lot more friends, and it'd be something they could enjoy as a weekly thing.
What else might that help them personally with?
It'd help them with if they've lost people and lives and stuff, and they'd be able to get over that and get back into reality and just sort of work their way up with their health and
Health.
and become a lot more healthier than they would.
Okay. Good. Yeah. I'll just stop there. So.